Okay. Right. Just arrived back from Thailand. Um, I still think it's evening time because they're 7 hours in front, which means that basically I should be going to bed now. Instead, I've got to stay awake, try and get a bit of sleep later on. Basically, just to acclimatise my sleeping patterns on the day. So anyway, let's see, it's another week before the season opens, the river season, so that'll be good. Looking forward to that. Whilst I was in Thailand, I actually done a little bit of fishing. The last few weeks I never bothered. It's just that the matches stopped, unfortunately. A few people were going back to the UK, and a couple of people just lost interest in the matches. They're more interested in obviously catching the bigger fish. Anyway, whilst I was in Thailand, I had plenty of time on myself, and I actually finished a few books that I had in the pipeline. One thing that I did do, I started off a new magazine, based on the fact that the Anglers Mail has stopped producing a weekly magazine. The only one at the moment is the Angling Times, and then you've got a couple of monthly ones, which is obviously coarse fishing, mat fishing, etc. So I relaunched my angling news. I've got a website. The website's been going for a long time now, and I've also got a mat fishing Facebook group as well. So that's 27,000 members on that. So it's all looking good on that side of it. So what I thought I'd do, I'd introduce a monthly magazine. Oh, I was going to do it fortnightly, but at the moment, I'd done the first one, and it was 2 weeks later I'd done another one, and then I've done the third one. So I'm on my third edition now, and the magazines, in fact, they're almost like little miniature books. The first one, comes with a black cover, the heading, Angling News, and I just briefly go through it. 80 odd pages, it's only $5.99, so it's good value for money. Lots of information in there. I talk a lot about all the matches, results, a couple of articles I write. I'll give you an idea. Let's have a look. I'll go on the preface of it and the content, and just give you an idea. It's quite a nice hard cover. Right, I do. Let's have the latest news. I got a calendar girl, like the old page 3 girl. Nothing too sexy, of course. Just because we got obviously kids buy this book. There's the Angling Trust news. I do a catch of the month as well, the biggest fish. I'm doing a couple of old series, the Dick Walker series. He was a great writer, great angler. Many years ago, and he was years ahead of everybody else. So it's nice to, if you like, rejuvenate his old columns. Then, obviously, I using a lot of help from a lot of anglers I know. Bob Nudd, I asked him if he didn't mind me reporting his reports. A couple of West Country bloggers. I got a couple of ladies contributing. May Potter, for example. Anyway, in this edition, as you see, the front page is about the World European team announced. Some more, good anglers there. Anyway, just quickly show you. There's the actual, it's on the inside page. All the different pages. Everything from a couple of sea reports, game reports. Also, world of fishing as well. Some Thailand and places. A little bit of this classified job search. Anyone looking for a job? And my poll series as well. I'm doing a sort of a monthly poll series talking about pole fishing. And also I got some jokes in here and that sort of stuff. Competitions, free giveaways and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's worth, as I say, $5.99. You can buy back issues, and they're all produced by Amazon. And if you get a Prime account, it means that you could actually get a free delivery. Otherwise, you know, if you order 2 at a time, anything over £10, you get free delivery. So that was my first one. As I said, that was quite good. Now, unfortunately, we lost a very good angler during that week, Dave Vincent, and so I basically designated a whole you know, front page to him, and also done a little article. I think, what page is that? That's on page yeah, that's on a tribute there, page 6. So there. More calendar girls. Oh, also Julian Cundiff, the great carp angler. He's come on board to do a couple of do reports on him as well. Jimmy Ellis, an old angler I should know, he's doing it. Also Dave Roberts, Angling Escapades. He's got a report in there as well. You know, there's the list again. So these are worth collecting because, you know, over a period of time, I also, as well as the float series, I'm also doing a fish series where you can actually cut out the fish from the page and mount it into a small frame, similar to the ones I've got on the wall. You may have seen a couple that I do, but that one is perch. Okay, they're genuine prints from an old artist. The name of let's have a look. Oh, I can't think of his name. Benjamin Fawcett, is it? Yeah, Benjamin Alexander Francis Leiden, that's the one. Yeah, there, you must have a picture of him there. Yeah. But he done a whole range of all the coarse fish and a couple of game fish, and he actually you know, made paintings. So yeah, I've got the full set. So each week, or each edition, I should say. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do this fortnightly or monthly yet. So as I say, probably I'll leave this now till say June for the river season, so I can report. So because I know the England team have gone over, the veterans and that, and the disabled, they've gone over this week to Hungary. So hopefully I'll do a nice report on them coming up. Talk about reports. I also do in this issue a lot of reports about Ireland. Yeah, some good reports there. The Mahon's Cup. Will Raisin as well. I asked Will for his support. He's allowed me to copy his report. So yeah. Great anglers. They had the Waterlands Masters in Hungary as well, which is quite good. They've got all the reports, you know, from the daily and the results. Holland. It's do classified as well, and also I do match calendars, so people got an idea of matches coming up, you know, through the season. So that will be introduced in there as well. There's a little bit of my pole floats there I was telling you about. Yeah, fully illustrated. I talk about it. Or some jokes. Some funny pictures. Yeah. So you know, it's a nice A4 size newspaper magazine. World Master Feeders. So I got all the anglers in there. Yeah. Dean Bell as well. Dean's given me permission to report anything that he gets up to. Yeah, so as you say, I got some really good contributions here. Fishing tips. I also do a lot of fishing tips myself. In fact, I might even write a book just on fishing tips. Something that I got an idea on. Also I do in my fishing media, I do I suppose a little recommendation on videos that I watch. You know, there's a couple there. So you know, each edition I'll give you some, if you like, some ideas. You know, of which videos to watch. Recommendations. I also got an items for sale as well. People selling fishing tackle, some good gear. Okay. I actually take these off of my Facebook page, off the fishing for sale pages. So, you know, if anyone wants any of the gear, obviously they can contact me and I'll contact them, or they can go directly to my Facebook page. Fishermania as well. I'm obviously following the Fishermania results. Okay, so there. Now this edition, I think there's 100 pages in this one. So, more just for a laugh. Some jokes as well. As I say, it's written how I would like a magazine to be written, you know, basically with all results, lots of results of people. Don't forget Bob Nudd as well. Bob's still, you know, great angler, great friend of mine, Bob. And follow. Oh, one of the West Country bloggers is Mike Nichols. You know, it's interesting to watch these guys, and you know, it's funny things they get up to. You know, it's a story within themselves, really. Oh, ladies, Emma Jenks in that one. Yeah, she does a little bit of a write-up there. Ladies national team events, that sort of stuff, you know. So there. So as I say, it's all full pack of information. Angling for disabled. Johnny Ellis there, look, on one of his reports. So it's full colour, you know, full colour with pictures. I do a senior page and a junior page. Yeah. So that's the second edition, and the third edition. A good friend of mine, Billy Makin. Oops, by there. He writes a little bit of a tribute to, as I said, you know, to Dave Vincent, who passed away, you know, two weeks previously. Again, fish of the match, fish of the month competitions, that sort of thing. Oh, obviously later on, I'm hoping to get some sponsors and maybe some prizes. You know, Calendar Girl. Yeah. Also, the Angling Trust again. I'm very much into watching the environment, pollution. So I'm trying to follow the pollution aspect of it. You know, I suppose, you know, when you've been around as long as I have, you know, you keep an eye on these things, don't you? Latest news as well. Some guy there tried to divert the river lug, by the way, and he didn't get away with it. They caught him. So there's a little bit of report on that. Oh, Take a Friend Fishing is back as well. Okay, so that's all the information there in the magazine about that. Oh, the competitions also got Find a Float competition. Pick a square. You go in a digital edition of my handbook, which I'll talk to you about in a moment. So a free voucher from Cadence as well. I also do a product review as well. I look at products that have just come out, and I also, you know, comment on them a little bit. Say match calendar again. This is my pole fishing. That's the French pole float. Very interesting way that's fished. Of course, you have to buy the magazine to find out how. Product review. Yeah, there's my product review page. Oh, Feeder Masters, I'll be following them as well. So the Feeder Masters, that's another one. Oh, commercial match fishing. Of course, that's very popular now, commercial fishing. It's a Navy. So I'm following that as well, you know. And there's all the commercial results there, look. Pages. So, yeah, if you want to see your name in lights, buy the paper. Stillwater. Most of the guys I ask for permission to put their pictures up. If I don't, as I say, they're off the Facebook pages, which are an open source, really, in a sense. May Potter again, you know. Charming little lady catching carp on fly fishing. Of all things. Oh yeah, this is my friend Dave Roberts as well. He actually won a commercial match, qualified for one of the Masters. He's at Larford Lake, so yeah, you can read all about him. Oh no, I got a regular contributor now, Jeff Cooper, from England, lives in Ireland. This is his introduction column there. In the next issue, he actually writes more about his fishing, and in particular the slider float. So that's very interesting. catching tench on the slider. As I say, got a veterans page, old mate of mine there, Tommy Pickering. Yeah, old Tommy. So he, you know, obviously putting his stuff up as well. Junior page, I've got a nice young lad, Charlie Drinkwater his name is. Young lad is one to watch out for the future. He fishes against the seniors, you know, on the matches, and he does quite well. As well, I got the other juniors as well, you know, a lot of other juniors fishing other catches, you know. So there we are. The Richard Walker. What I've done, I've actually copied from an old 1952 papers that I got of the angling news at the time, and I just, yeah, you can see that, you might be able to see it there. But I've blown them up quite large, so you can actually read the actual column by Dick Walker, written by Dick Walker himself. This one's about tench tactics, which is very, very interesting, in fact. As I say, he was years ahead of his time. Julian can't live again. He's a good writer. You know, I like his stuff. Right, well, that's it then. That's the third edition, and as I say, they're $5.99 each. Which is not bad for a monthly paper, it's £1 a week or whatever it is. There's 3 editions out at the moment, so if you want to start collecting them, you can obviously buy them direct from Amazon, and obviously you can buy the back orders, you know, the back papers. And if you want to contribute then weekly, monthly, or fortnightly, whichever I decide, then you can obviously come back and do it. Right, that's that little pitch over. Called Angling News. Don't forget my website, angling-news.co.uk. It's been going since 1989, 91, 90, yeah. So it was one of the first angling websites. You know, of course, this day and age, everyone's into Facebook now, aren't they? And Twitter and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, right, as I mentioned, I had plenty of time on my hands in Thailand. I'm just getting my gear back ready now and starting to mix some ground bait. So if anyone wants to put some orders for ground bait in, let me know. Okay, I'll leave a link to all these on the end of the video, by the way. Right, now, I tell you what, I've been into a lot of old magazines, you know, basically, not magazines, old books. And these days, a lot of them are digital. And I bought a digital copy of the Complete Angler with Isaac Walton. And anyway, I converted it into a book. And it's quite a nice read. It's a bit heavy because it's Old English, but it's really interesting. It's nearly 400 pages in that book alone. And it's only a £5, I think, or £5 or £6 for the book. And it's in a nice front cover, which I designed. A little bit of biopsy on him on the back. And as I say, it's quite interesting. He talks about the old days, and it's very interesting to see, like, for example, I was very intrigued with the ground bait, the type of ground bait. But also, in them days, of course, they used to catch the fish and eat them, cook them and eat them. And he also writes a lot about how to prepare and cook the fish. And I suppose if you look at the game fishing at the time and the coarse fishing, it was about this time that they split the difference between the fish, saying that the fish with the bigger scales, with the coarse fish, weren't so nice to eat as say the trout and salmon, even though they fish for them similar, you know, either with a fly or with a bait, you know, float fishing or ledgering. And it was interesting because he talks about horsehair and, you know, line and all that. So, as I say, that's a nice book, available on Amazon. Be a nice little present for somebody, you know, Christmas time or birthday times. But from there, I got the interest then to read all the old books. I want to go back in time to see when fishing started, and in particular match fishing. I wanted to know how match fishing came about, and you know how it developed. And I acquired, if you like, all these old facsimile digital books. And anyway, but it really intrigued me, and so I thought I'd write a book about it. So I wrote a book, and it's called The History of Angling, by Clive Branson. Again, it's about nearly 200 pages, I think, but it's interesting because I didn't know this, but there was a book or a couple of books written before Isaac Walton. I always thought like Isaac Walton was the first one, but it wasn't. There was a lady called Bernadette, who was a nun, and obviously they like their hunting and their shooting and fishing. She wrote the first thesis on fishing. The only problem is it's in real old English, and you've really got to read it 2 or 3 times to decipher and understand what they're saying. But if you're any good with puzzles, you'll soon pick it up. I'll give you an example. Here's an example of a writing. As now then while I describe the said the disport and the game to find and the best of and well, you've got to read it because I can't even pronounce the words, but it's interesting. Then it goes on to how fishing rods were made, and in fact this is something that I don't know whether you knew. Reels weren't invented until the late 1600s, and even then they were like a multiplying type of reel. Nothing like today's modern multipliers, but that's how they started off. Anyway, quite interesting because I also talk about the couple of books that were written between Isaac Walton and after Isaac Walton, and then I also talk about some great historians like the Hardys, the Hardy rods and reels, how they being businessmen, jumped on the market at a very early age. It's an interesting thing about hooks as well, how hooks were made. Because I got a whole, if you like, I got a full few pages on the hooks, line, reels. As I say, I even mention all the latest developments and how things started with hooks. I'll give you an idea. Is that hook there? A shell made out of shells. When they first started, so then it went later on into little metal hooks, and then obviously now we can buy all the chemically sharpened ones. But it's interesting to see how it over the years tackle has basically developed, and the last, I would say, 50 years it's going through the roof now. I mean, we're talking about high quality tungsten metals and polymers and all sorts of things. Now rods are made out of, reels the same. Same with the line. I also talk a little bit about the floats as well, development of floats, and also ground bait as well, because ground bait's been around from the day dot. From when we first started fishing. And it's only in the last few decades that we've come to terms with ground bait as we know it, modern day ground bait. And we weren't the first. It was the continental anglers that actually had a march on us. But as I say, this is primarily all about history of English fishing, although there's a lot of American inventions like that. I didn't know this, but there was a close space reel brought out in the late 1800s. Yeah, there we are. That's something you didn't know. But there we are. As I say, it's worth it. It's only about 5 or 6 quid, I think, a book. It's worth buying from Amazon. A nice little read, I think. In fact, even though I wrote it, when the book came through, I actually sat down and read it again. So it's interesting. Good stuff. So there you are. If you're like me, like the history of fishing and how it all developed, and then those 2 books, as I said, are definitely worth buying. They're also available on Kindle, obviously a lot cheaper, but you haven't got the texture and the feel of a book then. Right, last but not least, I'm going to talk about this book. This is my complete handbook of angling. It's quite a big book. It's over 430 pages, all right, jam-packed with information. And I actually start off talking, if you like, a little bit about you know, the developments of fishing again slightly, but I also talk more about tactics, today's modern day tactics. For example, I talk about all the floats. There's my complete float encyclopedia in there. You know, explain all the floats, how they work. You know, you can buy it. You can buy my float manual as well, by the way. In fact, I've been selling it for like 20 odd quid. Well, this is $14.95, and it's got the whole range of floats are actually in the book. Then I go on, and then I go on to other things like ground bait mixes, barbel mixes. I then go on to tackle and tactics. I go on to then the fish, all the fish species, record species, how to catch these fish, you know, how to catch all the coarse fish, and as I say, it's quite a good book, I think. You know, if you're going to buy a book, that one is The Complete Handbook of Angling by Clive Branson. Okay, again on Amazon, and it's definitely certainly worth value for money. As you see, I like my books. I got loads of visual books. As I said, I got a few from the old lads who sent me a few. Yeah. Yeah, so a couple of other books I've got to mention as well that I've written. Living with Legends, of course. That's a book all about where, through my lifetime, I fish with and against some legends. Legends that you haven't got today. Yeah, you have got legends, you have got good anglers, but in my day you had the best. You know, you had anglers who were the pioneers, if you like. You know, and the reason why we are where we are today is through guys like that. You know, I'll mention a few if you like. Kevin Ashurst, you know, Bob Nudd, Robert Hess, Billy Lane, Ian Heaps, Ray Mumford, Dickie Clegg. You know, I've got them, they're all in there. They're all people I used to know and fish with. Yeah, so great little book. So there we are. That's a nice little. That's only about 100, 200 pages, I think. So that's worth looking at. Also, Fishing Guide Wales. Now, I reproduced it in a black and white edition. Okay, and it's only about 5 or 6 quid. There is a colour version which I'm bringing out, but that's going to be about 15 quid because obviously colour is more expensive. But I mean, these are not too bad. I mean, in black and white, you know, it gives you a full description where to go. All in Wales, over 600 fisheries, lakes, rivers, etc. So yeah, that's another book of one of mine. But the other books I'm just going to mention. Billy, as I said, I've been over to Thailand, met Billy again. The Golden Years is a very good book. He's got a great writer. You know, me when I write, I'm matter of fact, if in a sense. But with Billy, he beats around the bush and makes a story of everything, and it's quite good. Yeah. So there you are. The Golden Years. And the other books that he'd written obviously before was Fishing and Testicles. So just the description tells you what the books are all about. And then another one is Tits and Teeth, and that's all about his experiences in Thailand. But on a more serious note, of course, you got Tommy's book, hardcover. You know, that's definitely worth looking at. And another one, of course, is Brian Bennett's massive book. As I said, I've done a little biopsy on his book before, and I did mention it's a shame that he's only written a few, you know, about a dozen pages on himself, but the rest is made up of all the anglers that he's known over the years. But you know, it's a good book. I'm not sure how much it is. It's about 20 quid, I think, that book is. But that's definitely worth having a look at. And then, last but not least, don't forget my autobiography. I've had some good reviews on this, and it's straight from the hip, straight from the heart, and basically I just talk about all my life and, you know, ups and downs, good and bad, you know. I won't give too much away, but it's basically how I was king of the castle one day, and the next you know, obviously down, lost everything, you know. But I come back fishing, that's the main thing, and I'm here where I am now today. So there you are, my autobiography, Clive Branson autobiography. So that's about it. Okay, well, thanks for listening. You know, this is the first video I made for a while, and I know it's not fishing, but it's about fishing. So that makes sense, because a couple of vlogs I did make were about me being in Thailand, and of course, you know, a little bit of the village where I was stopping, and the fishing's really hard over there, unfortunately, because most of the people go fishing, kill their fish and eat them, so there's not many fish in the river to catch unless you go on one of the man-made commercials, you know. Okay, well, anyway, as I said, thanks for you know, viewing, and hopefully I'll catch up with you soon. Back out on the riverbank in the next week or so. Gonna get all my tackle prepared. The other thing is, I'll be, you know, restarting my vlogs again. So those who've been following me, you know, thank you very much, and hope to catch up with you soon. Oh, the other thing I might restart as well is my Monday live question and answers. So it's a Monday now. I could have used this as the platform, but I'll probably start that, say, in about a week's time after this video. So if you make a note of this video, you'll know that this time next week I should be live on question and answers. Any questions you want to ask, then yeah, fire away. Right, yeah, so anyway, as I said, I had my hair cut. Come back, it's freezing to death. And it's June. You should think it'd be a bit warmer, wouldn't you? Okay, right. See you on the next one, and as I say, if you don't forget, go to Amazon if you do fancy, you know, buying the monthly book, monthly magazine, and you know, start doing your collection. I'll leave all the links below, and hopefully I'll catch up to you next time I see you.